13093. Ready.
This is Radio Spiritworld Interdimensional. Stand by for a special broadcast.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Hell. I'm Sir David Frost, and you join us for the special Radio Spiritworld broadcast, Dead from Beelzebub Hall, here in the 5th chamber of Hell. And my guest tonight needs no introduction, don't you? But I'll give him one anyway. Oh, he is, or was rather, a children's TV presenter, disc jockey, charity fundraiser, and possibly the most prolific sex criminal the UK has ever known. Ladies and gentlemen and demons, please welcome Sir Jimmy Savile. Oh, yes, thank you. Now then. Oh, yes. Now, you see, first of all, Sir David Frost. Sir David Frost. I must correct you because, you see, I'm not Sir Jimmy Savile. I'm not Sir Jimmy Savile. I'm just Jim. Oh, yes, I remember, of course. Your knighthood was rescinded. Well, no, that's not correct. Her Majesty never rescinded my knighthood. I relinquished it voluntarily because the man downstairs, Satan, he doesn't like people with titles. Right. In fact, come to think of it, he doesn't really like anybody. Now, Jimmy, you came here, yes, about 3 years ago. Correct. When you died, you left a legacy. A list of horrible sex crimes that you carried out. Yes. In plain view of the entire nation. Right. How did you get away with it? Well, first of all, I was very clever in that I dressed and looked like a paedophile. You certainly did. You see, it was a double bluff, you see, because people wouldn't suspect somebody who went out of their way so much to look like a sex offender. Right, yes, I know what double bluff means. Right. Also, I was very devious, and I had a lot of help. Well, who helped you? Well, who didn't help me? Well, who did help you? Well, you see, I'm not about to divulge their names. Why not? You see, because I'm not a grass. I may be many things, but I'm not a grass. Never have been, never will be. Now, Jimmy, I have here a letter from Satan, which says, if you tell us the names of all the people that helped you, he will give you a reward. Right. How do I know that that letter is from Satan? Well, you can see he signed it in his own excrement. Oh, yeah. Right. So, what sort of reward are we talking about then? Money? Food? Privileges? You'll find out later. Is it cigars? Because once he did give me a box of cigars, but they were foul, and I don't even think they were cigars, if you know what I mean. He'd like to keep it as a surprise. Now, let's hear those names. Well, I'm not comfortable with being a grass. Not being a grass is the only moral I have. But, all right, there was Alan.
The broadcast from Radio Spiritworld will resume shortly.
They're all the ones beginning with A. Now, the B's... Gonna have to stop you there, Jimmy. Apologies to the listeners at home. I've just been told that we're not allowed to broadcast those names for legal reasons. Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? I do apologize. Now, your legal regulations are nothing to do with me. I've named names. I've compromised my moral integrity, and a deal's a deal. Don't worry, Jimmy. Satan assures me that you will get your reward. Very good. Continue. I'm going to take a couple of questions from the audience now. The man in the front row with the little moustache, Herr Hitler.
Danke. Ich war ein großer Fan von Jimmy Fixit. Ich dachte, dass sie wunderbar waren. Aber was ich wissen wollte, ist, wer schrieb die Titelmusik?
The composer of the Jim'll Fix It title music. I think his name was David Mendel.
And the singer in?
The singer was a very lovely lady by the name of Linda Hayes.
Thank you for that. We go now to the lady chained to the large archdemon over there, Baroness Thatcher.
Thank you, Sir David. Hello, Jimmy.
Oh.
How are you?
Oh, yes. Hello, my love.
Good, yes.
Yes?
Are you eating properly?
Oh, yes. Fit as a butcher's dog, me.
Doesn't he still have his marvellous sense of humour? Don't you agree?
And your question?
Yes, my question is, Jimmy, do you have some tips for any of the listeners who will be going to hell?
So, Jimmy, what's your advice to newcomers?
3 things I always say to people. Number 1, keep yourself to yourself. Number 2, buy a good pair of gloves, because although it's warm here, it can get quite chilly, especially at night time. Number 3, most important of all, is at meal times, if you have the choice, never choose the lasagna.
Right.
I won't say why, but take it from me, I learnt it the hard way.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All right, my love?
May Satan curse you.
Jimmy, we have another question for you now. This is a question from somebody who's still alive on planet Earth. We received this message earlier today, and here it is. It's from the American comedian Bill Cosby.
Oh, yes.
Well, I like him. I like black people. I've got a lot of time for black people.
Mr. Jimmy Savile, when they judged you and they banished you to hell, did they take into account all the good things that you did and weigh them up against all the bad things?
Now, that's an interesting question.
So I get to the pearly gates and St. Peter won't let me in. So I say to him, do you know who I am? And he says, yes. So I think, oh, bugger. So then I say to him, do you know I've raised over £30 million for charity? Surely that counts for something. Now let me in. And he wouldn't.
And that's why you broke his thumbs.
Yes, and I fractured one of his wings.
And so you ended up down here in hell.
Yes.
This revolting place.
Oh, it's not that bad. I mean, it's hell. It's very smelly, but if you know the right people, you can have a very nice time here. I mean, you live here. What do you think of it?
Oh, I don't live here. I'm just visiting.
Oh, a visitor. Oh.
But you seem to have it pretty cushy down here.
Well, I have friends in low places. Let me just leave it at that.
Oh, really? Well, I've got some news for you, Jimmy.
Now, is it about my reward? Because I was thinking it might be an iPod.
There is no reward.
So you lied to me?
Yes, I lied. It's legal here in hell. But what I'm about to say is not a lie. Jimmy Savile, you are a fucking disgrace to the human race. You are an absolute abomination.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, that's a fact.
No, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Right, well, I don't have to stay here and listen to this. What's going on?
Well, Jimmy, it's time for your reward. And it's the chair you've been sitting in all night. It's called the torture chair. And it's direct from Satan's workshop. And it really does look most impressive now we've revealed all its blades and drills. And this, Jimmy, is where you will spend the rest of eternity. Well, that's all for tonight. Pandemonium here in hell. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Satan for hosting us. I'll be back next week in heaven, thank God, when my special guest will be Yul Brynner. So do join us. Just remains for me to turn on Jimmy's torture chair and wish you all a good night.